Mabuhay, kapatids! My name is Stephanie.
And my name is Imee, and welcome to the Babaylan Bruja Book Club podcast.
We have come together in efforts to decolonize our minds, our bodies, and reconnect with spirit by ways of relation via conversation, of education, interpretation, and integration.
So, this is our invitation for you to join us on our journey as we discuss works from honored artists, authors, and thought leaders from the Filipinx diaspora. Quick disclaimer: we want to acknowledge that everyone is consciously where they need to be.
And we are not experts, but we are sharing our own unique lived experiences. Anong balita?
I don't know
Sister?
what that means.
Oh, what's new? What's the news?
Mm.
Balita.
Well, there's a lot of news. There's a lot happening in my own personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah, should I say? I got a course coming up. Well, once this drops, this episode is it'll be like over.
I'm ready.
Yes, girl. I got my
Don't
Kali
like that though.
inspired course.
Just kidding. I know I'm excited. And
Yeah.
get them from Sister Tony.
Yes, Tony.Pasion. Those particular 6.
She
Look
put
at them.
with some special gems in there.
Yeah.
Is this hematite and
Hematite and like aventurine.
and mother of pearl?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Protection while you know what I'm saying? Just I'm gonna keep them here. So that's coming up, sis. That's exciting.
Yeah. And then tomorrow I have a market here locally. It's called Moonlight Market.
Ooh.
Shout out to Cbus. Anybody, if anybody's listening out there in Columbus, that's beautiful. Like, DM me. Like, if you listen to this podcast and you're literally in the Central Ohio area, I want to meet you. Who's out there?
Call it in. Yes.
So, that's going on. Let's see. It's springtime. There's lots growing in the actual ground. There's a lot growing in my life. My kids are good. Yeah. So life is full, but like I was telling you earlier, I called this in. This is my abundance that I called in. So I get to do all these things that I'm doing, like recording a podcast with you.
Yay.
Steph. How are you? How's your heart? What's new?
How's my heart?
Anong balita? Right? Is that what I say?
Ooh, yes. I want to add like a sa puso mo.
Anong, yeah, I think.
Puso is heart.
Mm-hmm.
My heart is very content. It's been working on. I'm an energy medicine student, so I'm very much immersed in the practice right now and embodying of all the things I'm learning. And I'm an energy medicine like nerd because everything is energy and for me.
Yeah.
Personally,
Everything is energy.
Girl, all the way down to our DNA.
Everything, literally, yeah.
Yeah. So I've just been kind of immersed in the contrasts and the harmony of it all and applying it and integrating it the best I can. It's some practices are not necessarily something I do habitually, but I'm attempting to get into that. And as I know, as a wellness coach around behavior change, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So practicing the technology of self-compassion has been such a great tool in energy medicine work because I do have some pent up energy left from past pains, and ancestral pains, relational pains, friendship pains, the daily pains of people cutting you off in traffic. I got my like spray in the car, like my lavender oil, calm me down. I was just at a retreat like 2 weeks ago, and a fellow attendee had some offerings, and he made this tincture. It's called Calm the Fuck Down. It has a bunch. It has a bunch of like I'm really into like flower essences and how that subtle medicine can help shift our energy and our aura.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm just repairing my aura, sis. It's been
Mm.
so many years of unconscious, enmeshing and entangling and taking on people's shit, and that's not mine. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to show up. One of my teachers calls it in divine neutrality. So I've been really trying to work in that space, and honor my body that way. Even though I've been programmed to not appreciate it or like it through the years, which is our take today. We're talking about, you ready for it? Should we have like a drum roll? Our study break topic today is
Dun dun dun. Body image.
body image. Yeah. So we wanted to kind of share this in lieu of summer coming up.
Yeah.
It's when we get hotter and we wear less clothes and more skin is shown, and patriarchy tells us to look a certain way, and
Yeah. My theme, my fashion aesthetic for this summer 2021 is going to be fuck the patriarchy.
yes, fuck the beat though. Well, I think for me, again, practicing that neutrality is just
Come on, sis. Yeah.
recognizing it. I don't have to like it. I don't agree with it at all, but not allowing that to like make me feel less about myself, because I'm trying to love on this body,
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot for me, and it took me a while to recognize that, especially with the things we grow up to like believe about ourselves, right? We
Yeah.
don't look a certain way, we don't wear a certain size, we don't have a certain color,
Mm-hmm.
which we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So
why don't we start off with defining body dysmorphia? What did you call it? Body dysmorphia. Yeah, body dysmorphia, right?
yeah, so body image, um personally and professionally, I notice is such a reoccurring conscious and unconscious thing. Folks wanting to lose weight because they want to feel good in their body, folks who want to lose their belly. It's so demonized to have a belly, and yes, right. Take a sip. Yep. Yep.
It's literally tea.
I got mine too. Here. So cheers. But yeah, body dysmorphic disorder is a mental illness involving obsessive focus on a perceived flaw in appearance. The flaw may be minor or imagined, but the person may spend hours a day trying to fix this. This person may try many cosmetic procedures or exercise to excess. And I wanted to add to that too that perceived skinny folks also have dysmorphia. So it's not just, see, even this definition is like subjective.
Yeah. So do you feel like everybody, I don't know, like under that definition, I would almost feel like everybody has a form of body dysmorphic disorder, like a level of it, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think like what comes through for me is, like our minds are computers, and when we grew up, we downloaded these thought programs that made us feel inadequate because we're not supposedly looking like this typically Eurocentric, the European kind of like small frame, no stomach, no, zero to no fat, excess fat and um
Long nose, skinny nose,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the Filipino community, Filipinx community, like
They want a straight nose.
I know
Goodness.
I'll acknowledge my nose privilege because I didn't really have that growing up, but I do hear that.
You
That's
have a
like one
nice
of the things.
you have a nice nose, Steph.
Oh, thank you, sister. I think it comes from the Spanish.
Yeah, everyone wants a Spanish nose. This is what
Yeah, well, the colonizers gave me one thing besides my last colonizer name. It's, it's a nose.
you're like, thanks, colonizers.
Right. But that's not per se that, like, you know, Filipino noses, like Rex Navarrete was joking about that, right? Like, smash it. Your nose is
Yeah.
like, but
But like why yeah. Yeah. Well, why is that like no it's your nose. Like yeah, the Eurocentric standard. I have a friend who they are obsessed with their nose. Like their nose is too small or like smashed. That's what they say,
oh,
smashed.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what? And then I look at them, I'm like, your nose literally looks like mine. Like, no, your nose is like better somehow. I'm like, what?
Your nose is cute. It fits your face.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's
But
what
a
I'm
nose is a
saying.
nose, just like an arm is an arm and a leg is a leg. But
Yeah.
it's like it's either too dark or too flabby or too something
Mm-hmm.
or not enough or something. You know, now it's like your butt's not big enough, your boobs aren't big enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just this never-ending circle of like trying to be perfect.
Yeah, and you can't do that because the standards change all the time. Like you said, right now it's like you have to have a big ass but like a tiny waist, right?
And
And
no
then but
stomach.
and no stomach. But then like how is that that's not even like most people are not built like that at all, like period. And then like yeah, it's just the standards change all the time. So, um
I'm
yeah.
here for it though. This shift, this paradigm shift of like body diversity. Like you got
Yeah.
corporate companies like Dove, even though they're questionable and ethical, you know, like how they create their products
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
that. But like, first of all, I love Lizzo for her just
Yes.
unapologetically her,
Yes.
just like twerking on her mansion or like I don't know $6 million mansion, cellulite, all of it, just and
Yes.
just shaking all of it, and it's just like y'all can talk whatever you want to say, but I'm still in my $6 mansion twerking. And I do love, like, she did one post that was like, love your, like, I talk to my belly, I love my belly, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about bellies. Can we just talk about bellies?
Ooh, yeah, go for it, especially as a
Yeah.
mother.
As a mother, right? And but then that's what I was kind of saying like before, like right now I feel like there's the body aesthetic that is I don't know, I don't know. Like I do love how there's more body diversity and even corporations for capitalism, money, whatever, are embracing body diversity. But I almost feel like it's like, well, you still have to have like this hourglass figure. Like your waist and your tummy still got to be like snatched. And it's like that's if you have roles here, then you have roles here and you have roles everywhere, you know? It's you really can't do that. And so I feel like no matter what size you are, it's like your stomach has to be even if you're no matter what size if size your tummy has to be smaller. Do you know what I'm saying? Like your waist has to be snatched, whether you're a size 0 or a size not 0. Do you know what I'm saying? Like your waist has to be like tiny. And that's just not realistic. And as a mom, like I think I shared with you this before is like nobody told me that after you have a baby, you still look like you have a baby inside you. Like that doesn't go away.
Right.
I thought it was like the movies and like some European bodies that are, most of my friends are from European descent out here in the Midwest. That's what they look like. Their babies come out and their bellies go back in. So that's what I was expecting and surprised that did not happen. And so that's when the shame sets in. You're like, well, what's wrong with me? Why didn't that happen
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, for one? And um but that's what I mean. Like this summer, I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna wear crop tops.
Do
Uh,
it.
I've got stretch
Do it.
marks.
I love it, and I
I'm
love what you shared with me the other day. You were like, when Rio, right? You shook at your stomach. You want to tell them what happened?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes when we're cuddling in the morning, my daughter, she's 7, she'll like squish my belly. She'd be like, "Mom, it's so squishy." And I say, "Isn't that great?" I tell her it's because you used to live in there, so you made it bigger. I mean, like technically, that physically you did, and then it doesn't necessarily. It's like a balloon. It doesn't necessarily shrink back down to what it used to look like. But I was like, you used to live in there,
Yeah,
and I love it. Like that's why it looks like
yeah.
that. You used
I
to live
love
in there.
that. That's conscious parenting as fuck.
Thanks, sis. I'm
Because I had a
trying.
yeah, I had a friend who we were talking about this, and she told me that her friend, I know this the mother too, her son was like, "Mom, you're fat. Like your stomach is fat," and then it pushed the mom to like get back to the gym membership.
Mm,
I think like this snapback culture for mothers is toxic. It's harmful. It doesn't harm just because again, this is the mental health stigma. Just because it doesn't directly harm you in like a physical way, like oh your head got smashed off or you broke your arm or whatever, right? It's harming your psyche because it puts this thought into mothers' minds that like once this baby pops out, like I gotta like have this flat stomach again. But in reality, like your body is different now.
and my body's always doing different. Honestly, I've that's never been my shape. Like I've never had a flat stomach. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
no, no, I've never had a flat.
and
I've never had a flat
you know
stomach.
I love you, sis, but yeah, Imee is very petite. She's a petite little cute little frame, and me, like, I have not to bring it back onto me because we're still on moms, but like
No,
I've
you would
always grown up.
conversate.
Yeah, well, I think the last time I was a size 3 was like in middle school. And bless my mother's heart, that's a motherhood I had to heal.
Mm,
She wasn't necessarily confident in her skin, so having a mother figure not necessarily rooted in confidence in being your own skin was also a challenge. And growing up, I remember we did Weight Watchers together. I did all the yo-yo dieting, and then I got diagnosed with my chronic condition and then medication and treatment. So my body fluctuated. Like I wasn't sure this medication was making me gain weight. Some made me lose weight. So people would be like, and it's interesting because when I would lose weight because of the medication, they'd be like, "Oh my god, you look so great!" Like celebrate me, and I'm like, I didn't even do
mm,
anything. And then when I would
mm,
take medication, they would like not say anything, but they would like say, "Oh, it's because you're on the meds." It's like you're missing the
yeah,
point here, though, right? It's like
yeah,
I'm still me. I'm still who I am, and so that's why body image for me, like it's just like I wish we would see and celebrate stages of body changes because folks don't want to be in this high school metabolism phase. It's like I hear it all the time at my job, just like people saying like, I want to lose my belly. I want to go back to like what size I was in high school. And I'm just like, well, life is different now versus back then.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. It's such a conversation. Like, just it's such a journey, and it's a very personal one for everybody. Because, like, um, my own story with that, it is wrapped up in growing up here in the Midwest, and not liking my skin color. And then I was really skinny, and like when all of the other girls would be developing, they had like boobs. I didn't have boobs. I still don't have boobs. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I felt like, oh, people are like, oh, you're skinny, but then it's like, oh, but you're not voluptuous. You still look like, because I would always just make fun of myself. I'd be like, yeah, I have the body of a 13-year-old boy. I don't know. I would make
Oh,
myself
yeah.
just because I was just trying to make fun of it, just the
Mhm.
deal. But like, so it's like I never felt womanly enough, honestly. So I would look at women with like, I think you're beautiful, sis. Like, I think like just your curves, and you just like womanly and voluptuous. And
Oh, girl, yeah. I
so I'm
they,
go
and
ahead. I'm sorry.
I love like we're gonna compliment each other now. Ready for this?
Do it.
Okay, when I saw you in a bikini at the retreat, I was like,
Mm,
she looks great, And I thought, to me, what came through was like for to see your pregnant belly, like out open in the flesh. You were just like,
mm.
I'm a bad bitch. Da, da, da.
I was like,
I can't
I'm
do.
a I'm a bad bitch. Y'all can't kill me. I don't. Yeah.
I honestly saw that as like a marker of honor,
Mm,
to have a belly like that with the stretch marks, and just like that you had a person go through, like
yeah.
that's like a tattoo, you know what
I
I'm
had
saying?
like two people. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it comes back again, and I've been shadow boxing with these
Mm,
voices of like, what's my excuse, when I have stretch marks and all that stuff,
that's what I was just gonna say. Cause like, and that's another thing. It's like you have to have a reason for your body to look the way you do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like but you don't. This is just your body, like just how you said how people are like, oh, when you're on the medication, or what change the fluctuations in your body is for medication. People are like, oh, you look great, or oh, it's just a medication. Like, why does your body need to have an excuse to look the way it does? It doesn't. And then sometimes you're just bloated. Like for me, I spent literally all up until I was my mid 20s bloated. I was just bloated as fuck. Like, so my tummy never looked flat because I didn't understand that I was lactose intolerant.
Oh, you just kept eating the
I
cheese and
kept
drinking
eating
the
the
milk,
cheese.
huh?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I never had a flat tummy. I'll look in the mirror and be like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd always look pregnant. People would be like, we go to the Filipino parties. I'd be like, are you pregnant? No.
Okay, flip side of that, there were like at least two times, like, I remember I would sit and on my older job, and this elderly woman was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "It's a food baby." Like, because the first time I was really pissed, like, just like, you don't. It's such a sensitive thing to ask someone. Um, but I was like, I have to transmute this, and it's
Mm,
still sensitive, because I recognize I have like sexual trauma, like
yeah.
from past partners who have had opinions about my body.
Mm,
And those things I'm assimilating, what one of my teachers would say, the wisdom of me loving me for me, and knowing that as a single woman, right? Single as fuck woman, dating in this society nowadays, right? It's like there's a plethora of menu of options for single men to be looking at. So it's like, I may have the
mm,
most great personality, but if a man is turned off, or a woman, or whatever people prefer, um because of some program, like, I don't have a flat stomach, um and someone else does, like, I'll get surpassed. But it's just like, so those are the things that make you, like you're saying
mm,
earlier about, like, well, why doesn't my stomach go back to where it was
mm.
versus other folks? And I'll even raise like the bar about bringing the conversation around. You don't even have to be Eurocentric standard. There are like I think it's just genetics. Some folks, just like the nose, some folks are just, their skin doesn't have stretch marks after it expands to have a baby, and they just go back.
Yeah, some people
Um,
don't, which is crazy.
so it's just that gene pool. But I think that what we see, what we're sold on, social media and the news and fashion and newspaper, like now they're starting to celebrate stretch marks and more body diversity. But these plus size models, which is like, why do they have to be called plus size, by the way?
They're just models.
It's just a size 14. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
But again, baby steps in
Baby
the
steps.
world of
There you
change,
go.
right? Is just noticing that even the plus size models have to have like somewhat of a flat stomach.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
know.
what, and don't you feel like that's the number one thing that you hear people complain about when they're like, "Oh, when they complain about their body." It's like, or what they want to change. They're like, "I want a flat stomach. I want a six pack. I want my stomach to be smaller." Like they only talk about their stomach as if it's, I think that's another thing, like with it makes it like we're dismembered. It's almost like your body is not
Dismembered.
yourself. Like that's you. Like what are you, like it's an
Right.
object.
We go ahead, sis.
No,
I'm sorry.
like I was just gonna say, like it's an object. Like you can just switch it out, and then if it doesn't be, if it isn't the what you want, like something's wrong with you. It's like no.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are the like deep things, I'd be like a deep river. I'm just thinking like,
You
did
win.
I reincarnate into this avatar to
Come on.
speak about like representation, about having a fuller size figure, right? And I've been really skinny, and I've also been really, really big. It's like at some point you just gotta accept yourself, like love it, and know someone will love it. But if you don't love it, how they're gonna love it too. And in reality, for me personally, because I've been through the dating phase, the exploration phase, it's just like the body is not all that is part of it, right?
Right.
It's essentially, for me, it's what's here.
Right.
And I don't have no business getting involved with somebody who's very like, you need to look a certain aesthetic
No.
by my side.
No.
But actually, there's even, and I'll give a shout out to my Black women. Giving them love and reverence for their confidence. One of them was one friend. She was just like, "So what? I still pull them. Like,
Yeah.
it's true."
Yeah.
I'm not about to brag, but I know at least few folks who just be like, "You're perfect the way you are. Be by my side. Like, you don't need to shrink or do anything to your body." But for me, like, there's still things where I'm just grappling with, like, dang, I wish, this would be a little smaller, or like, I'll say it, like, if my stomach was flat, I'd be like, whatever. I don't care about the excess on my arms
Right.
or my legs. But there is no magical pill. There actually
No.
are pills. There are pills, but there's no remedy out there than fix, like, working with this. Like, this is
Yes.
where, what did Beyonce say? It's the soul that needs a surgery. It's the song Pretty Hurts. You heard of that song?
Yeah.
And she talks about her beauty. She was like in pageants and stuff. So essentially, that's why I'm saying, like, I'd rather work on my soul, which is what I've been connecting with lately. And the more I connect with my soul, the more I'm like, you know what? I love my brown skin, and I love my yeah, okay, there's some parts I don't love as much, but they still deserve love.
Yeah.
And how can I continue to love myself so that I get to a space where, like, where I want to be?
Yeah.
And exercising and eating right and all that's eating healthy. Let's say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Eating healthy
Is part of loving yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So what do you personally do, sis, when there's a voice, or you see a picture or a person, and you, like, a shadow comes up, like, woo?
I know, right?
You know, what do you have a personal tool that you I love that word you use. Do you have a technology that you use, a mantra, or do you just what do you do personally?
Hmm, that's a great question, sis.
Or maybe it's not even in the moment. Like maybe you just gotta be like, wow, and then like go journal about it later, right?
Yeah, and I think that that's like part to returning back to like energy work. So when
Hmm.
I feel in that place of shame or
Yeah.
jealousy or anger or frustration,
Hmm.
I feel it. I acknowledge it. Right now, talking about this topic, like my body is tense about it, you know.
Yeah.
But you just sit with it and then you work it through. So maybe that is journaling. Maybe that is dancing. Dancing has actually brought me back to my body, rather than dissociating, right? Because when
Hmm.
I used to dance more, I actually didn't even really pay attention. I was curvy in high school too, but I was dancing and I was just comfortable in my skin. But until someone hit me with the like, oh, you need to lose weight, or like you don't look this way or whatever, I was like, wait a minute, you know. And so that's where I got more self-conscious about it. But um, practices like that helped me return back into knowing that, like, feeling like I am beautiful. I know I have a good heart and that my soul is
Mm.
beautiful regardless of what
Yeah.
avatar presents, right? Um, but that's part of it. I can't spend every day like hating my body because of this and that. It just doesn't work. And furthermore, having an immune system that supposedly rejects self, it's just like,
Mm.
psychically, I have to demonstrate for myself that I love all of it. And for me, I know we talked about colorism, touched on it earlier. My one thing about my mom, she praised my brown skin, growing up. So it wasn't ever like a problem. And I swam, so I would always get dark, and I love getting dark.
Yeah.
And not that external validations are what we love, but it is nice.
They yeah, they help.
They do. And I remember I was walking through the mall one time. I was like 13, 14, fresh after like, I don't know, swim meet or whatever. And men holla, whatever. They're like morena ton. And I was like, oh, see, And I was like, yes, like brown skin. So when I
Yeah.
stepped into the world of like hearing folks' story about not accepting their brown skin, like what we talked about a couple of times, sis, it honestly made me sad, like. And now it's funny because people want to be darker.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's just such a
Well,
like never ending.
it's never ending, man. But yeah, like I said, growing up here in the Midwest as a teenager, I'm like this skinny ass, stick straight, brown, like Filipina out here, and like all my friends are like taller. They're like 5'6". You know what I'm saying? Like they're all tall. They're all like 36, 24, 30, they're all curvy, and I'm over here like so, but it is just a process, like, just doing the shadow work, like you said, like doing the journaling. And I think too, what has helped me a lot is s- surrounding myself um, with like with women who are confident in their bodies, or learning to be confident in their bodies, and not learning to talk about their bodies in beautiful ways. And that has helped. I'm blessed to have women around me who do that. But also, if you don't have women around you who do that, social media, I think, is just such a beautiful place. Like I've curated my feed, you know what I'm saying, of like body positive people, moms, like all body diversity, and they're talking about their experiences. They're out there with their bellies. That's what, and that to see that represented gives you courage to do it too, And so for me, that has helped a lot. And then also realizing that um realizing that one day I am going to be 75, 80 years old. I'm going to be wrinkled. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to look at me now
Mhm.
and be like, man, why did I complain? You
Mhm.
know, I could move. Not only did I looked younger, right? But my body I was able to move fast. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can get up without my knees creaking. Like, you know, like I have eyes to see. My joints aren't all gnarled up. You know what I'm gonna be? You know what I'm saying? And so like I told myself, I want to love myself. I'm gonna start loving myself now. So when I am 75, I can also love myself, but then look back at myself now and be like, you know what? You
You was
know,
a bad bitch.
you was a
No
bad.
one can kill you.
Yeah, I'm a bad bitch. No one can kill me. You can't kill me.
It's a running joke, punchline. It's
Yeah.
funny. Um, yeah. I'm sorry, sis. Were you feeling complete? You want to say?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I just that, it's I'm just for the people out there just encouraging them like it's not an overnight thing. It's like a up and down thing too. You know, like some days you're going to feel great. Some days I go out there and I'm like, I look good. You know, I look great. I feel great. And then some days I'm like, I look like a mom. But I think too, just real quick, I feel like putting for me to another way that has helped me heal in my loving my physicalness is to put on things that are beautiful, that feel beautiful, that make me feel good. Throw out the ratty ass underwear and get some nice underwear. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, don't put,
Yes.
okay, so you're just going to the store, but don't
Yes.
just put on the ratty ass t-shirt. Put something that makes you
Yes.
feel
Yeah.
good, that honors your body. And that's another thing too. Like telling myself when you are hungry, eat. That's another way to honor your body. That's another way to love your body. You know.
Girl. Yes. Yes. Eat.
So,
I had a food freedom coach. Shout out to you, Sarah. Love you. For just, pointing out that also in diet culture,
mm,
um, the toxicity within diet culture. There's toxicity within everything, right? Um, but just how diet culture, we're told, don't eat the carbs, don't eat this, like
mm-hmm.
had too much. Da, da, da. So I remember an exercise she walked me through was like the voices, like the food police and the balanced one. It's like, okay, you can have this and think about like, is this something you want? So it's to have more food empowered choice decision making skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's gonna be Filipino parties. There's gonna be gatherings. There's gonna be weddings, and the vacations. And that's ultimately where I notice folks, myself included, have fallen off. And you also get to have opportunities every time to ask yourself, is this something that's in line with my goal? Of course, like I even we could talk about this is probably like part one of many series, this, but like the cultural, societal gathering of food too,
Mm-hmm.
um, and
Mm-hmm.
like how autonomy as a child too. This is one of the shadows I was boxing with of recognizing like, dang, I didn't have autonomy growing up. Like my grandmother, my caregivers were always like in scarcity. Finish your food, finish your food. You
Yeah.
finish your food. You can't do this. You can't do that, which is, while their intentions were loving, it was harmful. It's harmful.
Yeah.
It made me bypass my body's own cues to tell me to keep eating, even if I didn't want to. And I know kids, for the record, are hard to please with food. I'm sure you can. I don't.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, right, to feed, but also to like force your children that you're caring for to eat more. I think that like that's a violation already. So to like
Yeah.
program that, because I would catch myself in old patterns, like why do you keep eating like you're full, but it took years to cultivate that. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you need carbs, okay? You need carbs. Your brain actually consumes the most glucose. in the day. So, and that comes from carbs.
Yeah.
Don't
So
eat a whole bag of, that doesn't mean binge because I'm not a dietitian. Okay, this is just a conversation.
we're not experts.
But we are experienced.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
But
so
yeah.
complex. So complex.
So going into summertime, I mean, just do your shadow work. Like
Love on yourself. Your
love on.
body is a vessel. It carries you. It works
Mm,
for you.
yes.
And it's just funny, like when only until like a body part is injured. Like when I sprained both my ankles 1 year, I was like, I don't even care if my ankle's like not skinny, how like it's supposed to be, whatever. They make like jokes about ankles and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked like a ankle was hella swollen. I was like, I just want it to work.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we also focus so much. One of the reasons we have a hard time loving our bodies is because we think it's just avatar, it's just how we look, it's just a pose on the screen or Instagram. Like, our bodies literally carry us places. Like, we, it,
Mhm.
if you take care of your body, it's such a beautiful communication tool, like how you said about dance, right? So your body can dance, your body can cook food for people, your body can like hug people, and it's such a it's your bodies are more than just the way you look. And I think in society, well, it's capitalism, right? You talk about you don't need outside validation, but outside validation is how we got these body dysmorphic disorders, right? Because people didn't get the validation that they need, or they didn't see the people that were represented, that looked like them or represented them, right? So
Which is happening now, which is awesome. And I think
yeah.
that that's like the age of Aquarius we're in. People just discerning, right? Aquarius,
Mm-hmm.
Aquarius just be pushing outside the box because we're not in a box anymore. The
Mm-mm.
universe is so vast and we are made of the cosmos. Yes,
Amen. Come
yeah,
on.
we became these avatars, but these my hands, my arms, the nerve endings, me being able to speak to you, that's the magic of the cosmos.
Yeah.
It's just like we get to live here and get to be in this body and call in a divine partner.
Come
Gonna
on.
speak from me,
Yes, sis.
that will love all on this and appreciate all on this because it's more than just this. I know that I have this to offer as well. So, and this, don't have to be my partner, be any partner, right? My podcast partner.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know we're making progress. It's like climate change, right? It's very much a problem. Just like body dysmorphia, it's very much a problem. There are things and systems moving. There are people emerging in communities that are spearheading, shifting the perspective and the conversation. Um, and it's also like, how do you connect that with yourself? Like bring it home to you because this is home.
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
home.
Mhm.
So
So yeah. Well, I think we're almost to the end of our time together, sis. But so I want to ask you, in this moment, do you love yourself? Do you love your body on a scale of like 1 to 10?
ooh, she pulled the coaching question out. It's funny, I ask clients that all
Do
day.
you? Okay, I didn't even know that was a coaching
Oh
question. I was like, oh,
yeah.
look at me.
Do I love my body? I love my body. Do I love it in the way that again, I'm still shedding programs.
Yeah.
I would say I'm like a 7 or an 8.
That's good though.
Just with the way, just because, for the past 2 months, I've been eating better. My
Hmm.
period was amazing with eating more vegan,
Yeah.
keto. I still have my chicken. I still have my,
Yeah.
ever eggs, bread.
Yeah.
It's, but cutting those things down substantially. Anywho, I know this is part one. Thank you, listeners. We've been on this forever.
Yes.
This is like how many years of wisdom, of shadow boxing and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah.
existing in this realm. But
So you're a 7 or 8.
I feel more, dancing in the mirror, talking to yourself in the
Mm,
mirror, even on the
mm-hmm,
days when you don't love yourself as
mm-hmm,
much. Just say, you know what? Thank you, legs. Maybe I want
mm-hmm.
you to tighten up a little bit more, but we gonna get there. You know,
Yeah.
coach yourself, like, um. So that's why I say that's why I'm there. I know I'm doing more, but I know that I can be. There's better that's coming. Uh,
Yes.
but in the meantime, just being thankful.
Mm-hmm,
I have a functioning vessel.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How about you, sis?
I would say about 7 or 8 as well, and I'm proud. And it's a proud 7 or I'm gonna say I'm gonna put a number 7.7.
7.77.
Yeah. We love an angel number. But like I'm like I know it's not a 10, but that's not even like for me to be at a 7 is victory, you know, is victory. And I'm sure for you too. Like this is a hard fought 7. This is for you
Girl,
hard
it's
fought 7 or 8.
33 years. And being around women who are very like accepting of you and not degrading you and,
Absolutely not. Yeah.
not the toxic tita, like, oh, you fat, but go
Oh
eat.
my God. That's a not
Go eat.
toxic tita culture. That's another
Lola,
study break, huh?
I
That's
know.
why I'm like, so my nephews and nieces, they call me Tita Imes. That's my
Um,
Tita Imes, that's my nickname. That's why I always see them. I always like I never say anything critical. I'm that Tita that's like hyping them up all the time, tell them how great they look, how much I'm proud of
aw.
them, how great like how good they're doing. I'm like I'm gonna break toxic Tita culture. That's not gonna be me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
In reality, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's why I am able to do what I'm because I've done the work and it's been hard, but that's why I'm saying it's a hard fought 7. Like I'm not 100% every day waking up thinking loving myself, but it's a hard fought 7. And where I am right now is um just asking myself, how are you honoring your body? Like earlier, I was just like going and going and going and going. I've forgotten to eat. And it's just like, okay, I mean, how do you honor your body? Eat food, you're hungry. Like, and then the other day, like, I went on a road trip with one of my friends. Oh, we went out of town, road trip necessarily, but
Love road trips.
we stopped at a store and I saw the restroom and I knew I had to use the restroom, but for some reason I was like, I'm just gonna hold it till we get there. Then I had to stop myself and be like, why? Why though? Like it would be honoring to your body to take the break that your body's literally asking you for a break to go
Oh
to
yeah,
a
you're
body
tapping
break.
in. Yeah, that again, the intuition, right? As a child,
Mm-hmm,
that we may or may not have had caregivers who cultivated that within us to listen
mm-hmm,
to those things, like going to the bathroom or your food limitations or your
mm-hmm.
needs. So I think that contributes
Yeah.
to why sometimes I'll speak for myself. I've eaten in excess because I just trying to protect myself or soothe till I feel better. But then it's like it's such a again never ending circle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you gotta decide when it's right for you to stop that cycle. So
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
why I love these cycle breakers right now. Lizzo. There's brown models in the community that are like, and it's interesting because the Renaissance. I know we have to go. We're at time, but um, white women were celebrated when they were curvier. See them
Right?
statues? You ain't seen no skinny.
Right?
And let me not shame the skinny people. All bodies are accepted, but
Oh, yeah.
it's just a statement in history. Like somewhere around the line, someone or some movement was like, you gotta look and act and be a certain way to be accepted.
I think honestly, yeah, this is time and we've got to go. But honestly, I feel like the whole idea of women being that women need to be skinny and small is patriarchy. Be as small and quiet and diminutive and invisible as possible. That's what the patriarchy wants you to do, is to diminish yourself so small that you don't exist anymore. And don't quote me, I don't have any like historical evidence of that of capitalism and like that thread, but that's what it feels like to me. It feels like patriarchy. Like you need to be smaller, be smaller, be smaller, be quieter, you know? Like your voice needs to be quieter, your clothes need to be not so loud and not so showy, you know, all this stuff. Just be small and quiet and
You got to
tiny.
produce the babies and then
Produce the baby.
go back to looking a certain way.
Yeah, so that your husband can look at you and want to make babies again. Like, what?
I hear sacred rage, sis.
Oh, we're just getting started, and we've got to go.
And so that's just part one.
Yeah, it's just a study, a little study break, something to for you guys to think
snack
on.
on.
Yeah,
Snack.
yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, dropping in, and
And
wherever, whenever you're tuning in, and whatever message I personally want to leave y'all's with is just, you know, draw in your strengths. What parts of your body do you love? You know, mirror work is I invite you to sit and do mirror work. Sit in front of the mirror naked. You know, fresh out the shower, rub yourself down with some nice lotion.
Yes.
Love on yourself, you know?
Yeah.
If you choose to. No pressure.
Yeah. And same, I invite you guys to like you know, whenever a thought comes up or a shame thought or a thought that's not very loving, just ask yourself, where does that come from? Where is the root of that? And go digging.
You sound like my therapist. Therapy helps too.
Therapy helps too, for real. But yeah, just and go to the potty as a mom. Go use the bathroom.
When you're hungry, eat food.
Eat food.
If you're too hungry and you want to keep eating, ask yourself why.
Why? Exactly. Yeah.
Agent Aquarius, why?
Why? But why though?
Bucket, why?
Bucket, huh? Okay.
Love you all.
Yes, on that note.
Thank you for watching.
Yes.
And stay tuned. We got more chapters coming. We're almost through the book.
We are. So.
And peace and blessings. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye. That one was good. I felt it. Did you feel it? I felt it. Okay.
Yay!